I sit on the Education Committee in the New York City Council. And one of the things we have the task is doing is oversight over the Department of Education. And we get a whole host of ideas from the bureaucracy within the DOE, as well as those who are committed to serving our children and educating our children. My brother touched on it a little bit, and I'm going to say some things that might answer question 1 through 27. But at the end of the day, our educational system definitely needs an overhaul. I call the Department of Education, with no disrespect to any educator, because I know it takes a lot of time and energy to wake up and go deal with someone else's children, and then you got to go home and deal with yours. But I've witnessed the Department of Education, as I call it, organized chaos, because of how many different rules they will implant into a system and expect the educator in the classroom to deliver a quality education to our children when they keep moving the rules and the games inside the classroom. Now, my brother mentioned it very well. Now, when you start talking about early education on this planet, and I will always say, and I take a quote, and sometimes real talk can offend folks. And Malcolm X will say to us, how insane is it that we're going to give our kids to an education system, the system designed to destroy us from the start. So how do we figure out when kids at 13 or 9 years old walk into, I'm a young black boy, how do I walk into an educational system and everything I see around me is Caucasian? How do I find a sense of self-worth to be educated by that when there's no power in this whole structure that looks like me? You just send a message to me that I'm already inferior in this society, and this education is you're going to give me what you want me to have, but you're not going to give me everything I need to survive in your system. So we got to figure out in our education system, when we start educating our kids, and we talk about preparing for kids for college, and why the Bronx and New York City has, with the small percentage of growth that has occurred for children who graduate from high school or ready for college, we got to look at what's happening in elementary school and middle school and junior and before they get to high school. Because a kid doesn't all of a sudden in the 10th grade don't know how to read. Someone messed them up in 3rd grade. So we have to take a real step back and look at the education system and say, hey, maybe, I come from a union environment, and we always have a quote that says, the leadership must reflect the membership. So if you have 80% of an educational system that are black children of color, then you know what? Maybe the educational leadership should reflect the children that are in that classroom. Because it's hard for, I'll call it for what it is, it's hard for someone, a Caucasian lives in Rockland County, to come down here on any given day and educate a kid from Edenwald and not understanding what they're experiencing every day, and then thinking all of a sudden they're going to absorb fractions and semicolons. Doesn't make sense. So we got to figure out how the classroom educators got to reflect more of the children that they need to teach, so they can relate to the children from day one, and then offer an education that can allow them to be successful in a system that's already saying that you got 2 strikes before you even step into the classroom.